Hello, thank you for coming to the Taliesin Antiques YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. I'm an antique dealer based in South Wales, more specifically in Caerphilly, which you can see behind me. Look at the beautiful landscape that I have near where I live. Very lucky to be here. So this video today is about a story I found very interested that I wanted to share with you. So as a dealer, I like to keep abreast of things that are happening in the antiques world, whether that be in auctions or in different shops or anything really that could be going on, just in case this relates to something that I come across at some point, or it might give me a lead or a heads up. You never know. It's good to keep up to date. Now this story interested me because it kind of goes against a lot of the conventional wisdom you get in antiques. There was this Chinese piece, Qianlong, sold in an auction, estimated at £100 to £200. It ended up selling for over £11,000, so 5,000% above its auction estimate. Completely smashed by the looks of it, then repaired, and has still achieved this amazing sale rate. So I'm going to go into it in a bit more detail, show you some pictures, show you some more details around what it is and where it's from, and try and determine why it was so valuable. And it clearly got some buyers very interested. So have a look at this. Right then, so here is the article that came to my attention that allowed me to find out more about this vase. Anticollecting.co.uk. The headline is Qianlong Vase Smashes Estimate. There's a picture of the piece. If we go down, we can see some more information. So a sought after Chinese vase estimated at 200 to 300. I think I said in my intro that it was 100 to 200, so I got that wrong. But still, considering how much it sold for, I don't think they're worrying too much about the estimate now, because it sold for £11,700, a massive amount over what they were expecting. Now here is a close-up of the piece from the article. You can see here where it has been smashed, and it must have just been glued back together. So there we go. It shows you why it's worth repairing pieces like this, I guess. If we go down to find out a bit more information that was in the article, so it was 21 centimeters long, Qianlong period, so it has that ground green color. It's known as I think it has a few names as we'll come on to, but one of them is a Ben Bahu vase, hope I said that correctly. Painted with auspicious symbols, so that'll be Buddhist symbols and lotus motifs, and has been consigned by a local vendor. So this is what I find really amazing about a story like this. The person who put it up for auction was happy to leave that day with £200, more than likely, because if they had a reserve on it, it wouldn't almost certainly wouldn't be any less than the low estimate of £200. That's what they could have expected to get. And even if it went for £400, they would have had to sell it because that's the deal. So there we go. They ended up with what must have been quite a surprise when it sold for what it did eventually. So I, off the back of that, went to look at the auction itself. I wanted to see how it was presented by the auction house. So it's John Nicholson's auction, which are in Surrey. They had an auction of Oriental and Islamic art, and they seem to have presented that with all the correct information. So it's a Chinese Qianlong period green ground porcelain Ben Bahu vase, painted with auspicious symbols, and if we just go down to the description, and lotus motifs. Mark and period, as found, 21 centimeters. So quite a brief history. I guess if they thought they knew it was worth something and it was mark and period, maybe that was, I don't know, justification for them to go in a bit more detail and present it a bit better. But I guess they can't get everything right. I don't know this auction house very well. I haven't used them, so I can't say what they're like generally. But let's have a look at some more photos and some close-ups. So there we go. I mean, what I absolutely love about this is that, I mean, the decoration's incredible across it, even this broken version. I love these panels. I think they're just so well done and just so, all done by hand, all done in such a very specific way. Really nice to look at. The symbols, of course, beautiful. Lovely ruby heads. Look at some more pictures there. As you say, you've got some more emblems. The vase as well. We will see now. We'll do. I think there's a close-up of the top, which we'll come to. There we go. So there is a piece that's missing on top as well, which when I'll show you some other examples now, you'll see what that is. and we'll have a look now at what the foot looks like. So there's the mark of this period, and if we go into the foot, it's always good to have a look at what a authentic piece looks like on the foot, and you can see just exactly what you want to see, that ring around, which is only achieved by age. Always looks different when it's done manufactured. Now off the back of this, as I said, I wanted to find what the real deal looks like and what it was meant to, what it looked like when it was made, to see if we had a perfect example and how much that would have gone for. And I found a few. So first of all, this one in from Bonhams, 2019. This over $12,000. I've only got this one picture. They haven't said it's Qianlong, so maybe it's not of the period, or someone had a really good deal. Looking at this now, maybe not. I don't know. I certainly don't consider myself an expert when it comes to Chinese porcelain and knowing the finer details, but that looks a little bit different to me. Maybe someone who knows more will be able to say maybe this was a more recent version of this type of vase, but still very nice to look at. Now going further, if we have a look at this one from Christie's, this sold in 2018 for £62,000. It was estimated at 30 to 50,000. Let's have a look at what Christie said about it. So Qianlong 6-character seal mark in iron red and of the period. The body is slightly compressed spherical shape, surmounted by a fluted domed neck and drum-shaped top, bright enamelled with the 8 Buddhist emblems. Bajiang, I hope I said that right, alternating with stylized lotus blooms on a lemon yellow ground. The colourful decoration to the neck imitates a Tibetan banner below the tops with florets enclosed by florets rather. The interior and base are enamelled in turquoise. So this one seems to be very similar to the one that the broken version was sold in John Nicholson's. We only got the one photo, but if we have a look at close up, I mean, look at it, it's just a beautiful piece. If you could own this, you would be very happy with it, not just because of the value, just because of just how stunning it is just to look at and the amount of detail that's gone into it. And it really demonstrates why Chinese and Tibetan art is so sought after across the world, and I think always will be. So that went for £62,000. Now there's a couple more recent examples that is worth having a look at. This is a pair that sold at Christie's in Hong Kong and achieved 6,250,000 Hong Kong dollars. I believe that is translated to around £600,000 or over £600,000. Similar information given on these two, and again we're looking at the stunning quality of these pieces. Very nice to have a pair, and of course not surprising that went for so much more when it's a pair. It's always going to be appreciated. Now the final one I'm going to show you, I think, gives you an indication of why the piece a couple of weeks ago sold for so much, and this is how the market goes a lot of the time. Now this one sold in Bonhams on the 7th of November 2024 and achieved £317,900. Now the one in John Nicholson's, the damaged one that achieved 11,000 plus, was on the 22nd of November 2024, so just a couple of weeks later. So I'm sure the buyer of this one was aware of how much this went for. And this one is a rare polychrome enamel underglazed blue, 8 Buddhist emblems, and that is in Ben Pan Ping. Again, I hope I said that correctly. Similar information. This one's actually seems to be quite a bit taller. Well, of course it would be taller because it's actually got the disc on top. This is a beauty. Look how well painted in the iron red that one is. Just an incredible piece of work. And we'll just get a few more close-ups. I don't know if this one has, it doesn't have a picture of the foot, but there's a close-up of the mark. It's always good to have a look at these when when you're dealing with the world of Chinese porcelain, which most of what you're going to see is face. It's always good to see what the authentic ones look like and what a mark is meant to be look like when it's close up. So there we go, a beautiful thing. Now just to finish this off, just to provide a bit more information about this piece and its significance and why it's so sought after across the world with collectors. There's an article here by Alain R. Truong. People who are up to speed with what's happening in the world of Chinese art and antiques will probably be aware of this website. Alan Truong, who is very well informed in these things, and he's given a bit more information on the examples of sold at Christie's in 2018. I'll read this out, what he's found, and it really just gives you the context of why this was so sought after. So this rare form of altar vase, known as Ben Paming, yes, I probably said that wrong, I'm very sorry, in Chinese, was made to contain sacred plants for rituals associated with Lamaist, probably said that wrong, Buddhism, and is related to ewers used to contain sacred water for ritual washing. The ewers share with the vases the same globular body and drum-like upper section, but with the addition of a spout emanating from a dragon's mouth. And he gives an example where you can find other versions. So there we go. That's the amazing history of a piece like this, and now we're starting to see why someone paid so much money for a broken, badly damaged, and a repaired vase.
Okay, there we are then. What an amazing piece. What incredible history. And I think you can now see, learning that, if you didn't know it already, why somebody was prepared to spend so much money on it. And I think there is a valuable lesson to be learned there, that if you have a piece which you think is special, has that historical, cultural significance, has that real quality and is of its time and its period, don't give up hope on it. In terms of value, it could still be worth something a lot more than what you maybe thought. So, as I say, a lot of the conventional wisdom, as I said at the start, whether you see experts on TV or wherever else, they can say it's damaged, it's worthless. That's not always the case. So just do your research and have a look into it, because you never know. But I think the lesson there is that dealer put it in. Sorry, the dealer, whoever consigned that piece to auction, was happy with the estimate of £100 to £200, and they ended up walking away with over £11,000 minus the commission fees. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. If you like antiques and videos like this and hauls and other things like that, have a look at my channel, have a watch of the videos, and I'd also appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel and like the videos. Comment as well if you've got something to add to anything I've said today. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.